It's easy to think that our lives are defined by these huge, dramatic moments. But what if that's not the whole story? What if your destiny is actually being written in the tiny, almost invisible choices you make every single day? Think about it. You start the year with this huge, exciting goal, maybe to get in the best shape of your life or finally get your finances in order. You're fired up. But then a few weeks, maybe a month later, that fire is gone. And you're pretty much right back where you started. It's a super common and super frustrating cycle. We all love the idea of the overnight success, that one big break, that quantum leap. But the truth? Real, profound success almost never works that way. It's the result of small, seemingly boring choices made over and over and over again. It's all about consistency, not short bursts of intensity. So, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the core principle, this operating system for success. Then, we'll get into how to take radical responsibility for your life. After that, we'll uncover your real fuel, your why power. And finally, we'll tie it all together with a plan to build unstoppable momentum. Okay, so let's think of the compound effect as the operating system running in the background of your life. It's always on, always working, whether you notice it or not. The only real question is it working for you or is it working against you? So here's the key. The compound effect is all about getting huge rewards from a series of small, smart choices. Things like reading 10 pages a day, or skipping that one soda, or saving an extra couple of bucks. In the moment, these actions feel totally insignificant, right? There's no instant reward, and that's exactly why most people just stop. And this right here is the hardest part. When you start, you're putting in the work, you're making the right choices. But for weeks, months, sometimes even longer, nothing seems to happen. The line is flat. This is the plateau. This is where most people give up because they don't see the immediate results. But trusting the process here, well, that's everything. But then, if you stick with it, the magic starts to happen. After that long, flat period, the power of compounding takes over, and that growth curve suddenly shoots upwards. At the very same time, though, small negative habits are compounding downwards. And over time, these two paths end up in completely different worlds. This is probably the best analogy for it. Imagine a plane taking off from LA, heading to New York. If the pilot adjusts the course by just 1%, a change you would never even feel on the plane, it'll end up landing in a totally different state. Your daily choices, they are that 1% adjustment. They feel like nothing today, but they determine your entire destination down the line. So, knowing about this principle is one thing, but actually using it, that's the real game. And it all starts with taking back the steering wheel by accepting 100% responsibility for your life. Now, this isn't about blaming yourself. It's about empowering yourself. Because as long as you're blaming something else, the economy, your boss, your luck, you're a passenger, you're a victim. You have no power. The second you say, "This is on me," you grab the steering wheel. You get control. Just look at the difference here. The blame mindset is totally passive. It's helpless. The ownership mindset, on the other hand, is active. It's always looking for a solution. It changes the entire question from, "Why is this happening to me?" to, "What can I do about it?" And that simple shift, well, it changes everything. So where do you begin? With awareness. It's simple. What gets measured gets managed. Just pick one thing, one single area of your life, like your spending, and for the next 3 weeks, track it. Manually, in a little notebook. Track every single penny. The simple act of observing your own behavior shines a light on all those unconscious habits, and that awareness is the first crucial step to change. Now, making any real change takes energy, and most of us rely on willpower for that. But here's the problem. Willpower is like a battery that runs out. For change that actually lasts, you need a much deeper, more powerful fuel source. So willpower is that little voice that says, "I should eat the salad." It feels like a constant fight, right? But why power? That connects the salad to a deep emotional reason. I must be healthy so I have the energy to play with my kids. One is a chore you have to force yourself to do. The other is a mission. When your why is strong enough, temptation almost becomes irrelevant. This says it all, really. If I put a wooden plank on the floor and offered you $20 to walk across it, you'd do it in a second. But what if I put that same exact plank between two skyscrapers? You'd say no way. But what if someone you loved was on the other side and the building was on fire? You wouldn't even hesitate. See? The plank didn't change, the risk didn't change, your why changed everything. Okay, so once you've got your why, there's one last piece to the puzzle: building momentum. You need a system that translates your choices and your reasons into actions that become almost automatic. Getting started is always the hardest part. A huge steam locomotive at a complete stop can literally be held in place by a single block of wood. But once that same train gets up to 55 miles per hour, it can smash through a 5-foot concrete wall. That's momentum. That's Big Mo. It takes a massive push to get your new habits going, but once they're moving, they create a powerful force all their own. So how do you build it? Well, it's a pretty clear path. You start with a choice that lines up with your why. You turn that choice into a new behavior. You repeat that behavior until it becomes a habit. Then you build that habit into daily and weekly routines. And here's the key to making it stick. You have to stay consistent by carefully controlling your influences: what you read, who you hang out with, and the environment you're in. Okay, here's your actionable plan. Don't try to change your whole life at once. Just pick one key habit to master. Track your progress on it every single day. No excuses. At the end of each week, do a quick review. See what worked, what didn't, and make small adjustments. Just commit to that simple rhythm for the next 90 days. That's enough time to lock in a new habit and really start to see that compound curve bend in your favor. The life you have right now is simply the sum of all your past choices. And the life you'll have in the future, that will be the sum of the choices you start making today. The power is completely in your hands, one small, smart decision at a time. So, what's your first one going to be?